What's up yogis, welcome to a short Chaturanga tutorial, or Chaturanga Dandasana to give it its full name. When I first started doing yoga, the teacher would say Chaturanga Dandasana, and I'd look at the people next to me and they just hit the ground. I had no idea that it was a name to perform a certain movement and a cue to do it the correct and safe way. It was only until a teacher broke it down and explained it that I could really feel it in my body. So that's what I'm going to do for you today. Break it down so that you too can feel it and add that power in the safe and correct way to your practice, or work towards different variations. So starting with the name, Chaturanga Dandasana, four-limbed staff pose. Chat means four, Ranga means limbed, Danda means staff, and asana means pose. You'll have heard asana a lot. Balasana, malasana, tandasana. It's simply a word for pose in Sanskrit. So it's at the end of every single name that you do in yoga of the different movements. So here's my four limbs. I've got my two hands on the ground, 1, 2, and my toes on the ground, 3, 4. And the staff refers to the straightening and trunk of my body, that plank pose that I'm holding really strong. Four-limbed staff pose. So setting up to your plank, let's start at the very beginning with our hands. We're going to engage Hasta Bandha, which means spreading the hands and gripping the mat so you've got the weight distributed all around your hands. That's going to help to take pressure off the wrist. My hands are placed directly underneath my shoulders. That means again that I'm not putting too much pressure on the wrong parts of the body. Everything is stable and supported. Lifting up to my toes, I'm going to take a plank and my gaze is just off the mat. I'm not looking right ahead, I'm not looking directly down. It's just a soft gaze just in front of me. My shoulders are strong and engaged. I'm not collapsing into my shoulder blades, I'm not protracting them too much, and I'm not collapsing my hips down to the ground or sticking my bum right in the air. It's a strong neutral posture in your plank. So I'm going to come out of that before I pass out. So find a strong plank. It's always a good idea to take photos and videos to make sure and make any adjustments that you need to, because it's hard to feel in your body unless you've got a mirror next to you. So starting with your plank, come back into it if you've come out. Engage the core, keep strong. And then when you lower down to the ground, you're going to keep your forearms rooted on the mat. They're hardly going to move. The bend comes from the elbows. So you're going to lower and keep the elbows tight into the body. And once the chest reaches the triceps, you're going to flip the feet and then push up the chest so that your gaze is just looking past the skyline. So I'm looking past some trees that I can just see out the window there. You're not looking right at the sky and pinching your neck, or again, looking down to the ground. If you've found that your elbows are splaying out to the side, then you really need to intentionally turn your elbows to face forward on the mat. That means that the bend is going to come from the right way. So if you have found that you're splaying out, that's not safe and it's not going to be good for your arms. So really turn the elbows round. If that's difficult, do some warm-up exercises so that you can train your muscles to get that feeling. So let's start again. Come out of it and watch me if you'd like to, or join me in a plank. Soft gaze off my mat, and then I'm going to look at my forearms. They're hardly moving. I'm just lowering down. Once I can feel that my elbows are 90 degrees, or you can take a look, I'm going to flip the toes and then push up my chest, gaze towards the skyline. There's no swoop through, there's no humping the mat. It's a really controlled lowering of the body and then a lift and push from your arms. That takes a lot of strength in your arms. You're holding your whole body weight. So another variation that you can do is lowering the knees down to the ground, and that takes out some of the leverage. But for this, you're going to need to lower down into a different space. So put your hands a little bit further forward than your shoulders, and then you've got that space to lower down to. I like to cross my legs just so I've got that support, and exactly the same. You just lower down, keep the forearms strong. The bend comes from the elbows, keep them tight into the body, and then lower all the way down to the ground. Once my chest is there, I just uncross the legs, let them come down, and then push up. But this time you're going to be in a low cobra. When we perform it with the full version, you come into an upward dog, so your legs are kind of hovering off the ground. That's not possible when your knees are there, otherwise you're going to be levitating off the ground. So that's just a different variation. Lowering through your knees, all the way down to the ground, and then push into a low cobra. Again, if you're working towards these different postures, there's some strengthening. I mentioned the other one, where you can lower your elbows down, or you can do some Chaturanga push-ups and really strong arms. Do 3 sets of these in your practice, and in no time you'll be able to hold strong weight in your triceps. That was better than a workout, I'm out of breath. But I hope it was helpful. If you've got any tips, put them in the comments. I always like to learn, but some people have heard some really good cues from other teachers, so I'll take them on board and share them with the other people that see the video as well. Other than that, take care and I'll see you soon.